Caroline Voaden.
Thank you, Mr Stewart, and it's a pleasure to speak under your chairmanship, and I commend my honourable friend for securing this debate. Too many people in South Devon are still being cut off by poor digital infrastructure. Airband promised to deliver, but were allowed to fail spectacularly across my constituency.
Will the honourable member give way?
I will.
I'm grateful. She mentions Airband, and Building Digital UK wrote to me last month to say that villages and premises had been de-scoped because Airband had withdrawn from the contract. Does she share my view that BD UK ought to find alternative providers that can fill the gap by companies such as Airband when they give up in places like Branscombe and Churchill in East Devon?
Thank the honourable member for his intervention, and I totally agree, and I think it's outrageous that a company like Airband are allowed to pick off the easy bits and then walk away when it comes to doing the more expensive bits of the contract. In Staverton, most residents have no mobile signal at all. While mobile providers claim high coverage levels, these claims do not align with the reality on the ground. In Dipford, broadband coverage is at best patchy. I myself used to have a satellite connection on the roof of my house to connect to a station in Italy in order to get internet connection. I will.
I thank the honourable member for giving way. I wonder if she's aware of the ways in which the structure of the mobile tower market in the UK is holding back investment in 5G. Some of the regulations introduced by the previous government are leading to a concentrated market that isn't investing quickly enough in more towers, and that better signal that we need to reach properties which otherwise would need a satellite connection, particularly rural constituencies like hers and mine in Lichfield, Birmingham villages.
I thank the honourable member for his intervention. I'm not aware of the specifics of mobile towers, but I'm sure he's absolutely right. So back to Dipford. Years ago, residents were promised full fibre broadband, but it has yet to materialise. Despite repeated assurances from providers and governments, very little progress has been made. Residents in Holme, Loddiswell, Afton Gifford, Rattery, Capton, Higher Brixham, Buckfastleigh West, Maypool, Galmpton, East Cornworthy, Thurleston, Woodley, Norton in Dartmouth and more are still remain disconnected, creating a digital divide that affects access to vital services and the ability for businesses to connect. I'll give way to the honourable lady and then the honourable.
Thank you. I thank the honourable member for giving way, and I thank the honourable member for securing this debate as well. The rural areas I represent are blessed with incredible natural beauty, but too often that beauty can obscure deep issues into public services, transport, employment opportunities and connectivity. I've had to fight hard for local residents, such as those in Inkerman Court in Deborydale in my constituency, to get the connectivity they deserve. With the new government investing £500 million next year to deliver digital infrastructure upgrades through Project Gigabit and the shared rural network, does the honourable member agree with me that high-quality standalone 5G is crucial to unlocking economic and social potential of our rural communities?
I thank the honourable member for her intervention, and I couldn't agree more, and I will give way to my honourable friend.
She talks about rural businesses. Ollie, a constituent of mine in Glastonbury and Somerton, works in video editing, and he depends on fast and symmetric broadband to be able to transfer his files. But his rural community is reliant on outdated copper infrastructure that severely restricts the upload speeds. Despite the nature of his work, suitable services are simply not available, and he's asked several suppliers, just not available. So does my honourable friend agree with me that outdated infrastructure is undermining rural employment, and we must urgently address that to support digital livelihoods?
I thank my honourable friend for her intervention, and I couldn't agree more. I mean, I declare an interest here in a family member trying to set up a business park, and who has also been told that it's just not doable because they're too far from the exchange. And as you say, we can go to space, but we can't seem to connect to the internet. It just seems ridiculous. For older residents as well, reliable broadband is crucial, as the honourable member has said, for online GP appointments, personal alarms and emergency calls. Without it, they are left isolated and vulnerable, and young people in my areas are being denied equal educational opportunities. Local businesses missing out on the digital economy, families struggling with unreliable services. The divide between rural and urban areas is widening, and it's simply unfair. If remote parts of the UK can access full fibre broadband and mobile signal, there's no reason South Devon should be left behind. I will give way one last time. I'm nearly finished. There's only one line left.
I thank the honourable member for giving way. Would she agree that some more remote areas then become new build areas, and yet they're completely lacking in any mobile or broadband infrastructure, so that can be a particular problem? And some telecom companies say that they're not fully involved in the planning aspects of this, and yet they can fully see the houses going up. So would she agree that that is something that ought to be looked into?
I thank the honourable member for her contribution. I would absolutely agree. I think it's fundamental to planning in the society we're living in today that connectivity has to be considered at the earliest stages of any new development. Okay, last line, if anybody wants to intervene. There's no reason. Go for it.
I thank the honourable lady for giving me, especially on our last line. I just wanted to add that when we think about rurality, one of the key issues that we have is depending on the mobile signal because of the sparsity of some of the areas that we represent, like North Northumberland, my constituency, and that we can be profoundly impacted by storms as a result, and that we should be looking to build in contingencies like generators, for example, for mobile masts, just simple things like that that the government should hopefully consider.
I thank the honourable member for his excellent contribution. Digital connectivity is no longer a luxury, it's a necessity, and it's time to treat rural communities with the same priority as urban areas. Thank you.